All right, we have Tessa here.
All right, we have Deebo here for you guys.
The big weather is a little different. Be hot, then it be cold. The big weather. Be hot, then it's cold. Then who knows? No questions for Deebo? Okay.
Deebo, how's the first week of fatherhood been? And with everything that's happened with COVID, Raheem Mostert's son, what kind of things, how does that make you feel when you hear about that situation?
It's actually my first time hearing about his kid with COVID. You know what I'm saying? All wishes and stuff to him. I hope the babies get better. But with me having a son, with all this going on, you know what I'm saying, try to keep him in the house as much as possible. Even though her parents work, but not having them out at all. Or, you know what I'm saying, if she needs something at the crib, or I'll have, you know what I'm saying, a driver or something, go to the store and pick it up and just leave it at the porch just to keep him safe.
Hey, Deebo, I know you've had some back and forth with Aaron Donald. I don't know if that's friendly or not. Have you actually ever met Aaron Donald or talked to him?
No, I haven't.
Would you like to?
Uh, I'm not pressed for a conversation.
Hey, Deebo, Steve White, right here. To follow that up, I guess, why aren't you pressed for a conversation? That wasn't my question, but it said, why aren't you pressed for a conversation with Aaron?
I don't know. I don't know the guy. Obviously, he don't know who I am, which he should. But I don't know. I mean, I just don't walk up to people and be like, "Hey, how you doing? I'm Deebo," or nothing like that. I'm not that type of guy or whatever. But he's an opponent, so I mean, I don't know why would I want to have a conversation with a guy like, you know, just don't. Just not
Yeah,
something I do.
I got you. Well, on that note, I mean, last game, you faced him. Of course, you had that big game in a lot of different ways. Have you noticed anything different in watching film in the past couple of weeks, or do you think there's still a lot of things you might be able to exploit, especially the way you moved around in the backfield and in the pistol and out wide as well?
Uh, from the past couple of games, even after we played, they haven't changed. So I mean, they're not doing nothing different on defensive end. I don't know what they're doing on the offensive end, but from a defensive standpoint, they haven't changed. So we know we got to go out there and do, and to keep our hopes up of making the playoffs.
Debo, you guys have obviously had a lot of success against the Rams and Sunday being such an important game. Do you have to walk that fine line of confidence and overconfidence?
Nah, I just think personally, you just know what's at stake, and Cal know what it takes to, you know what I'm saying, to push us to get the win. I wouldn't say it's over the confidence. I just know that everybody got to go out here and do their job the best way possible, and able for us to make the playoffs.
Deebo, Jimmy's been back after his thumb injury through a couple practices now. How have his throws been towards you? How does he seem, velocity on the ball, etc.?
Uh, Jimmy just looked like Jimmy to me. Same confidence, same throw, same ball, same energy, same everything. I don't think he took a step backwards. I just think, you know what I'm saying, he's just going to do best way possible. It don't look like to me that his thumb hurt, and he's out there doing a good job this week.
Anything else? All right, thank you, Deebo. Oh. All right, we have Elijah here for you.
Hey, Elijah, the last time you guys faced the Rams, 44 carries, the yards per carry 3.5. What do you think you can do that same formula with just the number, with the volume of runs, or do you think that there are opportunities out there for you guys to get more chunk plays?
Definitely have room for chunk plays and stuff. But like I say, we gonna also run the ball, but uh, we just gotta do a good job of converting on third downs, and we should be able to run the ball.
Hey, Elijah, Kyle said that your maybe only sign of rust Sunday was your first carry. He said you missed it. Was he? Should you have cut to your? If you remember the play, should you have cut to your left instead of going right?
Repeat that one more time for me.
Or Kyle said you had a sign of rust was your first carry on Sunday. He said you missed that carry or you missed the run. Were you supposed to go to your left? Was there a hole there?
Yeah, definitely was supposed to cut inside on that. Like I said, I was very rusty, so I had to get that out. But after that, it was all good. But yeah, definitely, I had to cut to the left.
Elijah, you played through a number of injuries this season. Now Jimmy Garoppolo is battling through his thumb injury. Is that just something that you guys have as an attitude in the locker room?
Yeah, definitely. Like I say, Jimmy's a freak, so he just had that mentality that he could play through anything, and that's what you got to have. Like I say, we football players go through injuries, so you just got to learn how to play with them sometimes.
And how has he seemed over the last couple of days? It's the third day that he's thrown since his injury. You are a pass catcher from him. How has he looked and felt? How has his passes felt when you've been catching them?
Jimmy been looking real good, so we just got to get him to Sunday, and it will be all good.
Kyle said that they thought you were going to be listed with a knee injury this week, which is all we know about. But obviously, you've had other injuries this season. Are some of those other injuries? I mean, do you still feel them, or are you kind of at a point where maybe you're only dealing with the knee?
No, I'm good. I'm just dealing with the knee right now, but other than that, I'm all good.
Hey, Elijah, when you came to the 49ers, was there a part of you that thought that maybe your best fit as a rookie would be as a third down back with how you were able to catch the ball out of the backfield? And what did it mean for you to finally get into the end zone? I shouldn't say finally, but for you to get into the end zone as a pass catcher last week?
Yeah, it was an awesome feeling. My first reception as a running back and touchdown. But yeah, when I first came in, I was running routes and stuff, running choice routes, all kind of routes really. And yeah, that's what I thought I was gonna be, a third down back. But like I say, I ended up being the first and second down back.
Hey, Elijah, obviously you've been able to put together a good season, set a rookie rushing record for the franchise. I'm wondering, how much have you maybe missed out on the fact that you haven't been able to be on the field? Like, how much growth do you think you still have in you when you get an opportunity to really string some games together?
Yeah, definitely have growth. Like I say, it sucks. Missed multiple games. I feel like I could have did more, and I think about that all the time. But you can't stay in the past, and I just got to continue to do what I need to do on this run we're about to make.
Last one.
Hey, Elijah, I realize he plays on the other side, but I'm just curious what you may have, either from talking to him or just watching him, what you picked up on as far as being a professional or whatever the case may be from Fred Warner.
You say Fred Warner?
Yes, sir.
Oh yeah, like I say, Fred do everything right. Take care of his body. Like I say, film everything. Fred is a person that you want to ask questions. I'm always talking to Fred about certain things, just picking his brain. So Fred Warner is definitely a guy you want to learn from.
Thank you, Elijah.
Thank you.
We have George here for you.
Hi. Howdy. Next. All right. See you guys. Oh, well, hello. It's Tracy. Hi.
George, you were out there at practice today giving Jimmy a bunch of compliments when he was throwing the ball. He seems normal, same power on the ball, same velocity.
Yeah, I mean, I think compared to last week, I think he looks better. I don't know what it feels like. I know chip bones don't feel great, and I'll just let Jimmy's quote speak for itself. I know it hurts. So whatever he's doing out there, I think he's doing a really good job so far, and we'll see what happens these next couple days.
George, as you head into this game, and obviously it's an important one, do you talk to the younger guys at all about keeping your preparation consistent and the same and not varying too much from that?
I thought both Coach Shanahan and then players throughout the week in practice have done a good job of just is it a huge game? Obviously, we need to win to get into the playoffs. But you got to, like you said, you got to stay consistent. You got to do what you've been doing. The things that have been making you successful, you got to continue to do those. Don't take shortcuts. This is not really the week to do that. If anything, if you want to do a little bit extra, by all means go for it, but don't do, too much that's going to wear you out or, mess you up for the game. But, just stay consistent with what you've been doing, or even ask a vet, what they've gone through. But I think our team's pretty close and guys watch. And I think most of our young guys, I think are like sponges, and they've just kind of been absorbing the information throughout the year from all the vets. And I think we've got, a good group of young guys that can step up.
George, kind of following up on that, you mentioned maybe young guys asking vets for advice or whatever if need be. How much do you, as someone who has played in a lot of big games, and particularly in 2019, how much do you draw on that when you go into games like this with these kind of stakes?
How much do I draw in 2019?
Well, just big games that you played in the past, but obviously there was a lot that year that you did, including a final week of the season one that year.
It's football. Is there more pressure? Obviously. But I feel like this team, we've been playing playoff games or kind of been playing for our season since the Vikings week. And, the only difference now is there's no guarantee that, we have a chance to save the season again after this week. So, yes, is there more pressure? But it's still football, and I think our team's done a really good job so far this week. Past weeks of coming together, working hard, and just executing. And I think that's all we got to do this week. Just go out and play our football, and not turn the ball over and get some turnovers. And I think we'll be just fine.
Jimmy kept his injury from everybody. Was very quiet about it in Tennessee. What has he been like this week? Is he still just not ignoring the fact that he has the injury amongst y'all, or is he kind of talked about it a little bit?
Didn't you talk to him yesterday?
I want to know your perspective. What happens in practice on the field?
My perspective is that Jimmy is throwing the football to me, and I get to catch it from him. I can't really tell a difference. Like I said, I think he looks better than he did last week. But again, I don't know what it's like to play with chip bones in my thumb while trying to throw a football. So I think Jimmy's a tough guy, like I said last week, and I fully believe that if he's going to be able to play, he'll do everything he can to do it.
Hey, George, yesterday Fred Warner talked about he felt the burden of his contract earlier in the season, and in not terms he used, but he was just kind of stressed out. And he finally got over that, and he thinks he's playing his best right now. Can you, I don't know, from the day-to-day who he is, can you tell, a difference in him, just the way, I don't know, he's carrying himself from early in the season to now, or is it maybe a little more subtle than that?
I think it's a lot more subtle than that. I think Fred does a great job of being himself every single day. You got to see he's a guy who's sprinting around the beginning of practice, screaming, setting the tone, bringing the energy every single day. I don't think anything ever changed. I know that it's a very difficult thing. It's not really fun to go through that. It's kind of like braces. The entire duration of it's pretty awful. And then as soon as you get done with it, it's kind of over. But definitely lingers for a little bit because it's you're in arguments, or not argument, but you're in a conversation about your worth to a team, and so it's kind of tough sometimes when you figure out what your worth might be. But I think Fred got a great contract, and I think he was very happy with it, and I think his play has. I always think Fred plays well. I always do. Kind because I watch a lot of linebackers across the league, and Fred's still one of the guys that I'm glad he's on my football team. I don't have to play against him. So whether there's games that he might not have a bunch of tackles or turnovers, stuff like that, I just watch how he impacts every single player that's on that defensive side, plus special teams, plus our offensive guys. You know, when Fred's out there, and Fred's very good at breaking the team down, he just brings this energy that you want to match. And so whether he has 15 tackles or 5 tackles, he's influencing our football team in a positive manner, and he has been this entire season.
George, I think you've mentioned a couple times this year, maybe most recently after the Tennessee game, just how good you guys have been as a team responding when your backs are kind of up against the wall. What is it about this team that you think allows you guys to play your best when the stakes are as high as they are?
Before I touch on that, you kind of look like an evil villain just sitting here with your hands like this in your leather chair. Like, I can't wait. Unmute him real quick. You got to unmute.
Should I get one of those cats, like bald cats?
Please.
Or
if you were bald, I would give you one of these, but we'll work on that maybe in a couple of years. How are we good at playing it with our backs against the wall? I don't know. I think this football team we respond well to adversity. I think this year more than any year I've been a part of. I think that we've lost games in crazy ways. We've won games in crazy ways. I think we've looked ourselves in the mirror multiple times and figured out what the problems have been or what the things are that are going right. We've had guys step up. We've had guys get hurt and other guys have to step up. We've had our best players play their best games. We've had our best players not play their best games. And so I think this team has just kind of been through everything. And when there's just a little bit more adversity, it just kind of brings us together, makes us a little bit tighter, and but at the same time allows us to go out there and just play football because we kind of have dealt with everything, every scenario. We've done 2-minute drives. We've gone 96 yards multiple times in the fourth quarter to try to tie games up. Even though we didn't score in Seattle, we still went on our defense had a goal line stand, gave us a chance, and we go all the way down. But our team's been in everything, and so I'm very confident in this team that, like I said, as long as we don't turn the ball over and our defense can force maybe 1 or 2, I really think that we can win any single game against anybody that we play.
Yeah, George, I think the last time you played the Rams, they had just gotten Von Miller, so he just basically walked onto their team. I'm just curious now that they've had him for a while. How does he look on film to you, and how much do you relish that challenge, blocking a guy like that, considering how much pride you take in your blocking?
I think Von's only gotten better week to week. The more you watch him, the more aggressive you can see him. I think, I know Von a little bit, but I definitely think just these last 2 to 3 weeks, I think he's played really, really good football. He's been very aggressive. He's been very physical. He's got his nice little, dead upper body where he lets guys put hands on him. He swipes it out of the way. He's been playing really, really good football. And I think he's a much better player now than he was 6-8 weeks ago, whenever that was. I think he's playing very good football right now. And we're going to have to be on top of our game because, it's still Von Miller. He's a hell of a football player. He's an all-world, all-pro, Pro Bowl athlete every single time he touches the field. And when he wants to be, he can disrupt any single play. And, hey, it turns out they also got Aaron Donald, who's one of the best football players to ever touch the field, who can also do that. And then, Floyd on the other side I think he's a very good football player as well. So when you have a D-line like that can do all of that stuff, and you have to, you have to put 2 guys on Aaron Donald, and hey, you're leaving your tackles against 2 elite pass rushers. So I think we're gonna have to be at our best if we want to be able to throw the ball against a pass rush like that, especially when Von Miller is clicking, which I think he is.
We'll do these last 3.
Hey, George, why do you think you have matched up so well against the Rams?
Me personally, or the Niners?
The Niners, winning five in a row.
Why do I think that? Well, I know in our last 4 games we've had, I think our last 4 games or 3 games we've had pick sixes, turnovers for touchdowns. I don't know. I think division rivals, you see them twice a year. You get to play them twice a year. And, there is a different focus when you play a team that has, guys like they do on their defense. And, you can't talk enough about their offense with all their weapons that they have and the guys that they're having fantastic, incredible careers like Cooper Kupp. Stafford is Matt Stafford. He's incredible. OBJ's playing out of his mind. And I still think they have a good offensive line, and their running back just came back off a torn Achilles. And I know he's going to probably run harder than anybody else will besides Derrick Henry. And then their defense is playing really good football. They got superstars all over it. But, you just got to prepare a little bit extra. You got to watch a little bit extra film on them, and I don't know if those are what connects the dots for us. But whenever we play them, we just try to come out and be as physical as we possibly can, and that's what we're really good at. I think we're one of the most physical offenses in football, coming off the line of scrimmage as an offensive line, fullback, tight ends, and our running backs. And then when our wide receivers decide to go hit safeties in the mouth on a run play, it kind of changes the game. And you either have to match that intensity or you have to get out of the way. And sometimes guys get out of the way, but I think it's gonna definitely show up this Sunday about who's the more physical team, and it's gonna be kind of a body bag game, is my opinion.
Deebo was just in there a little while ago talking about how he did not want to have a conversation with Aaron Donald, or is not looking to have one. Historically, obviously, Aaron spoke about how he didn't know who he was. Do you like that spiciness from Deebo? Have you seen that from him in regards to other players, and what do you think about that conversation?
I love Deebo and his entire mindset every single week. I think Deebo is different when he plays the Rams because, there is a little bit of disrespect there. I think Deebo's a hell of a football player, and people should know who he is and what his name is. I don't know if he takes, if he tries to be a little bit extra on these game days versus the Rams or anything like that. But you can definitely feel his intensity. And I think Deebo's done a great job being consistent with that energy, week in and week out this entire season. But I know that he's going to bring it, and he's going to do everything in his entire ability to, win this game. And I am looking forward to seeing a spicy Deebo.
Last one?
Ooh, last one.
That's me. I'm Kayla.
Hi.
I'm following off of you, Jennifer. But you kind of stole the words, I guess, out of this question. But staying here with Deebo, just how effective has he been, not only in the air, but for the ground or on the ground for you guys? And how is that going to play into, your game on Sunday?
You can look at the stats to see what his impact has been. He's got over 1,200 plus yards and 300 yards rushing. I think he's got more 10-yard rushing touchdowns than 20 teams in the NFL. So I think he's pretty effective at what he does, and you have to account for him no matter where he's at, whether he's in the in the backfield, whether he's in the slot, whether he's out wide. And the good thing on that is kind of the same deal. You have to know where I am most of the time, and you have to know where Brandon Ayuk is most of the time. And when you have weapons like that you have to account for everywhere, it allows those weapons to be used in the best way. And I think Deebo's going to go out there and have a fantastic game. I would definitely start Deebo on my fantasy team. I would definitely do that every single week. He's really good at football, and he gets a lot of touches. And I think it's going to be another great week for Deebo. Not even based on practice, but just based on him as a when he gets the ball in his hands, it's just different. He has a different mindset. He's trying to run people over. He's trying to knock mouthpieces out. He's trying to body guys, and it's a physical game, and he's out there embarrassing fools.
Thank you, guys.
I'm wondering how much do you tap into having played in a big stakes final week of the season game in 2019? Obviously, you went to play more that year that were big stakes games. But do you think back to that at all in terms of kind of your preparation and locking in for a game like this?
No, it's not much different. Same preparation as the first time we played them.
Hey, Nick, Fred Warner has talked pretty candidly this season about how, maybe for the first half of the season, he felt like he was, putting way too much pressure on himself because of his contract extension and trying to justify it and prove he was worth it. He said that he's kind of behind that. Have you noticed that difference and a transformation in him? I don't know how it manifests itself, but have you just noticed he's maybe a little more relaxed, not as stressed out?
Who are you talking about?
Oh, sorry, Fred Warner.
Didn't he sign before the season?
Yeah, in July.
He basically, Fred said he put a lot of pressure on himself and couldn't perform to live up to it.
Oh, okay, I got you. Yeah, I think he kind of. We had a talk the other day. He obviously has really high goals for himself, and similar to me, and obviously when you get a big payday, you want to show the organization that they made a good decision. but he's earned that before he even played a snap this season. But yeah, I mean, he's just super hard on himself, and sometimes in football, plays aren't going to come your way all the time, and you just have to keep on going, and eventually when you're a really good player, things will start to go your way, and they have the past few weeks for sure.
Kind of in that same vein, you've been double teamed a lot, but the focus being on you has helped your defensive linemen teammates have bigger statistics and get to the quarterback. Does that give you a little bit of satisfaction, at least, that you're kind of being the sacrificial lamb at some point to let them be productive?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's a little frustrating sometimes when you don't feel as involved in a game, but when you see Arden get a career high in sacks, and Jordan Willis and Eric starting to come together, and Sampson, I think a career high for him now as well. It's definitely rewarding in that way too.
Nick, I know you said your preparation is the same. Is it something with the younger guys and the rookies that you talk to them about not looking at it as such a big game and keeping their preparation pretty consistent?
Yeah, I really don't think it's I think in the NFL every game's a huge game, and it's not like basketball where you play a bunch of meaningless games and then you get to the playoffs and you have to really play your best. In the NFL, every game's huge, and it's really not much more pressure for us.
With the production of everybody in your group getting better, what have you seen from just your chemistry as a group?
The D-line?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen a lot of good stuff on tape. Last week watching Arden, I mean, he had as good a game as any D lineman could have in a game. He was winning one-on-ones left and right, and not really getting blocked much. And then Eric had a huge day as well. So yeah, I mean, the more attention that goes whatever way, we have really a lot of confidence in the other guys who are going to get those one-on-ones, that they're going to win them, and it's definitely an important week for that to keep going.
Nick, you mentioned you and Fred share very high goals and high achievers. You don't seem like the type, and maybe it's just your persona, but you don't seem like the type to get overly stressed out. Do you? I mean, get anxious and stressed just about football in general?
Definitely, yes. I care a lot.
So you seem mellow to us, I guess, publicly. How does your anxiety, or obviously you care, but how do you deal with that, or how does it manifest itself?
Definitely somebody who keeps a lot in and doesn't show much, but I'm definitely getting better at talking to people and expressing my emotions.
It seems as the season has progressed, D'Amico as a defensive coordinator has kind of gotten into a rhythm of calling better games, and it seems like everything's flowing a lot better. What have you seen from him now that you've come to the end of his first season as defensive coordinator?
I was actually looking at him and listening to him talk to us before the Texans game, and I was just thinking that's going to be the next head coach somewhere, and I'm sure just the way he addresses the defense and the way he talks and his motivational skills and all that stuff. I saw it with Saleh, and I definitely wouldn't be surprised if he's maybe one more year with us, but I'm sure somebody's going to snag him pretty soon.
Last one, Tracy.
Nick, when you say you're getting better about opening up to people and talking about your emotions, has there been work that you've done around that, or kind of how has that manifested itself?
Yeah, there has, especially recently, but it's a little personal, so I'm going to keep that. But I appreciate you asking.
Thank you, Nick.
Thanks.
Hey, faithful, don't forget to click here and subscribe.